Now, the International Monetary Fund is warning that Nigeria's economy needs urgent reform and pretty fast. In its latest Article 4 assessment, the fund faults the government's handling of a range of economic policies. It says this could affect talks worth at least $1.4 billion in international loans. Now, the international lender says Nigeria should lift its remaining foreign exchange restrictions and scrap its system of multiple exchange rates. The country is at least 5 at the moment. And while Nigeria's president, Muhammadu Buhari, has launched a flagship economic recovery plan, the fund says it simply isn't enough to bootstrap the country out of its first recession in 25 years. Let's head over to Abuja now. Sophia Dango joins us live with more data on this story. Sophia, has there been any formal reaction from the government or the central bank to the recommendations made by the fund in its Article 4 review?
Well, Rama, there has not been an official statement in reaction to the Article 4 IMF reforms, but Nigeria's finance minister, as well as the central bank and budget and planning, have said that there is no shortage of reforms here in Nigeria, and reforms and measures are already in place, and that Nigeria will have to focus more or less on providing confidence in a macro picture rather than laying down reforms constantly, but rather following through on those measures. So at the moment, we have not heard from the government, but we have continuously heard that reforms are just the basis, and the Nigerian government is focused more on recovery at this point. Rama.
Indeed, the fund has also argued that all these long-delayed economic recovery plans, including the one that President Buhari launched early in the week, are simply not enough to get Nigeria back on the growth path. So what are the fund's main criticisms of this plan?
Well, at the moment, what we know from speaking to analysts in this sector is that the Nigerian government is really focusing on, making sure that the restrictions that they have put on Forex continue, whereas the IMF is saying that those restrictions on Forex should be done away with. And that's where the biggest criticism is coming from. There are reports also that the recovery plan put forward by the Buhari administration is, suboptimal, as some IMF representatives have actually pointed out. But the Nigerian government, as well as the finance minister, who've really been focusing on steering the economy back to success, are really saying that they are going to stick to the current plan, and that budget and planning will have to roll out, especially in the areas of injecting fiscal amounts into infrastructural development and jumpstarting the economy from within. So at the moment, even though there are recommendations from the IMF and deep criticisms of the recovery plan, the Nigerian government is sticking to what they are seeing on a domestic level. Rama.
Indeed, it should be interesting to see how that plays out in the future. Thank you for that. That's Sophia Dango, of course, live in Abuja.